A major part of St. Anselm's community is you have this backbone of the monastery at the school, because the monks are always here and you see them constantly, and they remind you sort of the way that they chose to live their life, and they set an example for you.
Good morning, everyone. Please rise. Remember that we are always in the presence of God.
The Benedictines are kind and gentle and serenity-seeking and very thoughtful.
For today's lunch duty, for first lunch, I had Robbie Thompson and Cole Mitchell,
which creates an amazing atmosphere of continuity and peacefulness, and also the notion that any one day may have been a great day or a really lousy day in the eyes of a kid or a faculty staff member, but the next day comes along and we start afresh. We have this wonderful expression, always we begin again.
Hot burner conducts heat right to the bottom of the pan.
Dense minerals are heavier, which will let them sink to the bottom first.
If you walk into a classroom, generally the intensity of the kids concentrating, listening, and the dialogue between the students and the teachers is such that I love walking into classrooms around here.
It's an enjoyable experience because they have a dialogue with you in class. And the more you participate, the more you get out of it.
Here's an age and here's an age that are equidistant.
They're into it and they love what they're teaching, and that makes the class like so much better. I feel like you learn more and you appreciate that subject a lot more.
Like Ian said to us earlier,
in my experience in literature class, the truth is something that we have to dig for. And it's not something that's just sort of laid out in a nice linear narrative and, here, accept this. And the boys know that. And we discover truths, especially in literature.
The way teachers conduct themselves, not only in the classroom, but in their activities in the school itself, is such that everybody recognizes that they are part of a community in which they can each share and each have something to contribute to the other.
These are TUS as well, and some of them are SUS.
You get started.
There's that stability that's kind of encapsulates a lot of the calm that goes on in the school, and that allows kids to be great scholars, but also they're boys and they have a lot of energy and they have a lot of fun, and they're involved in a ton of activities.
We're the RPG Club. Today we're working on a playing card-based RPG.
We're the Chess Club, St. Anselm's Abbey School.
We're the Chemistry Club.
We are the Book Club. I advise the Sentence Diagramming Club. Once they diagrammed the very last line of 100 Years of Solitude.
We're kind of a bit informal in that we can also have a conversation about our day while we're playing.
It's like a video game. You take on a role of a character.
I believe we use
Hexing.
Hexing, that's what we use.
Yes,
We took hexane, evaporated it.
5 of hearts, and they draw a 6 of diamonds.
The aluminum and iron oxide mix creates a substance known as thermite. So you crack them together and they go boom.
Oh, I remember that one. I remember that.
I should do that.
I remember that one.
You'll see an 11th grader talking with a 6th grader or a 12th grader talking with an 8th grader. And they're talking about things that they know or things that they like. And as these kids are very different ages, and that's very unique.
I think it was the second week of school, a couple of kids came up to me and I was sitting at the table alone eating lunch because I didn't really know anybody too well. Being able to have a cool conversation about just whatever it was other than school really was comforting.
I'm a person that plays soccer, I wrestle and I play baseball, but I'm also in the orchestra and I play the violin.
Everybody fits in, no matter if they like sports or if they like some other activity. Everybody has some part in this community.
Pandas on 3. 1, 2, 3.
St. Anselm's has a service system built into the school so that a group of classmates go and work on this project together.
We've been working pretty hard, especially lately, to develop within the students a sense of their need to see their gifts as something that they were given to share with other people.
我们接下来欢迎呢 St. Anselm Abbey School 圣安塞姆学校。St. Anselm 是一所哥伦比亚特区的这个排名前5的 STEM 理工强校哈，他们提供社区 教育理念和严谨的学风，培养学生的精神、智力和身体发展，以及文科和科学的这种平衡的学习。学校呢也帮助学生提前做好大学预备及面临挑战、解决问题和终身学习的意识与能力。今天呢，我们跟大家见面的是学校招生主任 Mr. Patrick Granfield。Hi Patrick, thanks for joining us today.
Claire, thank you so much for having me. It's really a privilege to be with you this morning.
You're welcome.
My name is Patrick Granfield. As you said, I am the Director of Admissions and Enrollment at St. Anselm's Abbey School in Washington, D.C. And I'm also a graduate. I graduated in the class of 1999. I went to Dartmouth College afterwards. Then I came back to teach history at St. Anselm's. And after a career in speechwriting and journalism and in the Obama administration, I came back home. So I'm happy to be at St. Anselm's and with you.
Yes, awesome. We're very excited to learn more about St. Anselm in the next 30 or 35 minutes. You feel free to go ahead and start your presentation by sharing the screen.
Folks, I'm just going to show you one other short video just of, I imagine that most of you out there are parents. And I wanted to show you a video on the parent perspective of St. Anselm's before I got into my presentation itself.
Okay.
So here we go.
He wasn't doing the bad things and he wasn't evil at heart. Animals move from place to place. When we're on the court, it's 5 brothers working together.
I don't think there's a better place to train a young boy to become a young man. Any place in the city, they train them in mind, body, and spirit.
What else? Anything else political changes in community?
They know these boys as individuals and they know where they need to be rigorous and hard on them to achieve, but also they know great mercy and understanding for the individual challenges and backgrounds these boys go through. It really is a home community.
Each of these classes coalesce in a way that when they come out of here, they really have a deep understanding and appreciation of what each kid brings to the table. And I think they understand that whatever your strength is, it's important.
Guess what votes we need?
The faculty and the monks really understand that boy energy that they have, and they don't try to suppress that at all. But then when it comes time to work in the classroom, they have really high expectations. It's time to sit down now. It's time to get to work. We know that you can do it. Let's go.
Thank you to the newsman and professor this week.
What St. Anselm's offers is a unique educational experience, extremely rigorous.
He was probably not
extremely thought-provoking with a focus on critical thinking and thinking for yourself and an ability to work hard.
I think that there are certain things that he will gain from being here that he just wouldn't gain elsewhere. Exposure to the Benedictine values, to the rigorous academics, sense of responsibility, understanding that you earn your place in life. It's not given to you. You work hard for goals that you want to achieve.
Here's my lord Odysseus' hunting bow. Bend and string it if you can.
The rule of St. Benedict is something that teaches them to be men who care about their community and about their world and care about living right, proper, good, and moral lives.
What you're going to come out of St. Anselm's with, or what I came out of it with, was a deep understanding of the importance of humility, being thoughtful, and caring for other people. And those are the values that they really taught me and instilled in me and have stayed with me for the rest of my life.
That may be pleased with the humble efforts of your loving child. The boys absorb those values as they're here. They don't only hear about them, but they also get to see how people live them, and then they begin to live them in that same way. It really gets into them.
It was okay to fall down and fail because everybody was there to help you get back up and try again. Watching my son develop into a young man with that influence, I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. I can't even really put it into words how good it makes me feel.
I think it's probably the most important thing that we've done for our sons is to send them to this school.
What do we get there?
He's matured a lot as he's been here. It's really influenced who he is as a person.
It's a school that's firm, encouraging, but encourages each man or each boy to achieve their fullest potential.
he's received habits that are for a lifetime, that are not just for now.
Every day I think back to something I learned here, and every decision I've made in my life comes back to lessons I learned here.
Okay, great video. All right.
Thank you so much, Claire.
You're welcome.
Just turn that
Yeah.
off. 1 second.
Yeah. I'll let you know when to pause properly, and then I will jump into the middle for translation.
Fantastic. All right, so as I said before, my name is Patrick Granfield. I graduated from St. Anselm's in 1999, and I'm director of admissions now. And it's really great sort of to be back home. There's an American poet, T.S. Eliot. He said, at the end of all our exploring, we return again to see the place where we started, as if for the first time. And that's how I feel about St. Anselm's and my ability to make a contribution and introduce it to so many people like yourselves.
OK， 那么刚才呢，Patrick 先生主要是介绍了他个人的背景啊，他也是这所学校1999年的这个毕业生。那么毕业之后呢，他重新回到了校园，为校园的这个建设还有招生做贡献，一直到现在，他一直都在招生办做这个招生工作。OK。
Thank you. So a little bit about St. Anselm's. We're a small school. And being a small school is so much of what defines us. We have 250 students from grades 6 through 12, with a small international population, between 12 and 15 in any given year.
OK， 好，那么接下来我们来了解一下 St. Anselm 这所学校的一个概览哈。那么 St. Anselm 它是一所独立的罗马天主教的走读男校单性别学校。那么刚才老师说到呢，它是针对6到12年级去开放招生，学校一共是有250个学生。
So there are no more than 40 students in each grade, and usually the grades are broken down into 2 sections. There are no more than 15 students in every class. And as students advance, as they become juniors and seniors, the average size of the class grows smaller. So about 11 or 12 per class.
那么 St. Anselm 是一所非常小而精的学校。我们刚才说到，因为它总共的学生数量是250个人。那么老师提到呢，每年级的学生不超过40名，每个班级的学生呢是不超过15名。
And we're a boys' school, and we're not a boys' school because we believe that girls are a distraction, although maybe for me in high school they were. We're a boys' school because we understand that boys, especially during adolescence, develop at a different pace and at different rates than girls do.
那么我们刚才前面也说到了 St. Anselm 它是一所男校单性别学校。那么在这所男校当中呢，老师们或者学校他希望通过严格的这种经典教育，男生们可以在这里打下坚实的文科基础。学校我们刚才说是它是始建于1942年，由这个本笃会的僧侣曾经在历史上创办。那他的学校的教育重点呢，不只是学术，还注重个人和社会能力的发展。学校的教育不仅是帮助学生为他们进入大学而做准备，也为成为考虑周全、为他人着想的未来的男性领袖而做准备。Okay.
We're a day school. We don't have borders. Now we do have international students, as I said, some from China, some from Colombia, some from Italy and England, but they live with host families.
OK， 好，那他们是走读学校，我们大家长可以注意一下哈，没有寄宿的这个部分。然后呢，学校里面的有色学生的比例大概为37%。那么其中国际学生是来自不同的国家，比如说像中国呀，或者是其他欧洲啊这种国家的地区的学生们。那么我们的这个国际学生呢，学校会帮助他们去寻找这个寄宿家庭。
We're an academically rigorous school. And prize academic excellence. The average SAT score of our graduating class every year is about 1,400 or 10 or 20 points above. And 100% of our graduates attend a 4-year university.
好的，那我在这里呢也给大家 补充一些更多有关于学校的基本信息哈。St. Anselm 它这个学校是在华盛顿东北部的这个 Brooklyn 这个地区，然后呢，他们的占地差不多是40英亩，学校周边的大学差不多是有2所非常著名的，一个是乔治城大学，一个是约翰霍普金斯大学。那么在学校呢，他们教职工这个人员一共是61名，其中74%的比例呢是拥有高等学位的，师生比大概是在6:1这样的一个比较好的比例当中。学校的这个刚才老师提到呢，学校的毕业生们每年的毕业生他们是100%能够进入大学，然后去年的话，毕业生的平均 SAT 的分数达到了1400分以上，这个还是一个不错的分数值。OK。
For some students, they attend small liberal arts schools like Swarthmore. For others, they attend Ivy League schools like I did. They go to Dartmouth. Others go to engineering schools or universities with strong engineering programs, whether that's Georgia Tech or Cornell. And other students attend Catholic schools. Georgetown, for instance, which is just about 5 or 6 miles away in Washington, D.C.
OK， 好，老师刚才也补充了非常好的很多这个有关于毕业生的大学录取走势的一些学校信息哈。除了有这种非常顶尖的文理学院，比如说像 Swarthmore 学院。还有我们的这个老牌的藤校，像达特茅斯 Dartmouth 学院以外呢，他们的毕业生也有很大一部分的这个学生去到了工程专业特别强的院校，比如说像 Cornell 康奈尔大学，还有这个 Georgia Tech 佐治亚理工大学，这些都是非常强的工科院校。那么还有一部分学生，因为我们知道这个学校 St. Anselm 它是有这个天主教的背景的，所以还有一部分毕业生们他们会去天主教会成立的一些大学去进行进修，都是非常非常不错的毕业成绩。OK。
We're a Benedictine Catholic school. The school was founded by Benedictine monks who came from Scotland, and we are co-located. Our campus is co-located with a Benedictine monastery, where there are 12 Benedictine monks who live and work there, 5 of them who work and serve in leadership roles in the school.
OK， 好，我们现在来了解一下学校的这个办学理念，他们的这种有关于教会方面的这种精神的这个制度哈。老师提到的说，这个 Benedict Education 是什么呢？这个是本笃会精神。那本笃会精神是 St. Anselm 学校独特身份的一个核心。St. Anselm 由本笃会修士大概是在1942年进行创立，时至今日仍然是一所修道院学校。那么他们是与这个圣安瑟修道院的修士共用40英亩的校园。那么下面其实有几个本笃会教育标志是非常明显的一个教育核心，我给大家大概介绍一下。比如说像这个关爱邻里和他人啊，这个个人的稳定发展，遵循原则和守则，谦逊。管理能力、热情和社区融入等等，这些呢都已经逐渐的深入到他们的办学理念和培养的模式当中了。那么 St. Anselm 它本身是一个天主教的本笃会社区嘛，所以它旨在培养具有良好的学术成就的这种年轻人的精神、智力和身体发展。那么对文科和理科的严谨学习呢，能够使他们学校的学生为大学的挑战以及学习还有未来的服务生活做更好的准备。OK。
And though we are a Catholic school, only about half of our students are Catholic. The emphasis of the Benedictines is on the dignity and the inherent gifts of every human being, regardless of their religious background or beliefs. Their emphasis is on what is enduring, what is permanent, and that emphasis is imbued into everything we do as a school.
OK， 好，虽然他们是一个天主教会的学校，但老师刚才说呢，在学生群体当中，大概只有50%的学生是天主教会的这个信徒。那么其他剩余50%的学生呢，他们有自由的这个权利去信仰其他的宗教，比如说像这个基督教呀、犹太教啊等等，包括咱们很多亚洲学生可能没有这个宗教信仰也没有关系。他们是一个在宗教方面呢比较有这种包容度，然后有灵活度、有一定空间的这样的一个社区群体。Okay.
We're also a diverse school. Even though we're a small school, we have students of many different cultural and economic backgrounds. 40% of our students identify as historically underrepresented minorities. More than 40% of our students receive financial aid. And I'm getting an echo there. Just wait for that.
Yeah, maybe one parent is Yeah, we'll wait for 1 minute. Okay, John is muting.
Thank you, John.
好，那么刚才
in our student body, about a third of our students are from Maryland, a third of our students are from the city of Washington, D.C., and a third of our students are from Virginia. So 30, 30, 30, basically, with some international students.
Okay, so international students take like 30% off?
No, international students are more like 8 to 10%.
Oh, 8 to 10, great. OK， 好，刚才老师也介绍他们学生群体也是一个非常多样化的一个部分哈，其中呢，比如说像40%是来自于本地的，那么其他有40%到或者说30%是来自于其他州以及其他文化背景的。我刚才呢替大家问了一下，国际学生的比例大概是在18%到10%这个区间，那么这个应该算比较少的这个国际生比例了。
OK。There is a special emphasis on teamwork throughout the curriculum. Because though we have a diverse student body, we believe it's incredibly important for boys to learn how to work in teams. We see in the research that the boys who do best as men, as husbands, as spouses, as fathers, are those who learn how to work best as teammates in their adolescence.
OK， 在学术方面呢，其实这个他们学校是非常看重于团队协作以及团队学习的这样一种模式的，因为差不多在近75年以来，St. Anselm 一直保持着非常严格的课程设置。这个老师在最开始的时候也提到了，那么这个课程呢，仍然是该地区要求最高的课程之一，它是根植于古典教育传统的，所以学校的学术课程呢，它是旨在为学生提供一个坚实的科学和文科的背景，以及呢对他们学校成立所依据的这种，比如说教会的信仰的一种深刻理解。
St. Anselm's is located on 40 wooded acres in the Michigan Park neighborhood of Washington, D.C. We're 4 miles from the United States Capitol, 2 miles from Rock Creek Park, and close to Howard University. So we're in the city, but we're a sanctuary from the city.Sorry, that may be difficult. I'm sorry there.
It's okay. I know. I get it. 好，那么有关于它的这个地理位置哈，老师刚才补充了一些信息，因为之前我们提到说这个学校St. Anselm 它是位于华盛顿东北部嘛，那么距离国会山还有市中心都非常的近，离咱们的这个华盛顿的首都，它大概是4英里的这个距离。然后呢，在学校2英里处呢是有一个非常大的国家公园，然后学校和周边的这个有几所名校也隔得非常近，所以它可以说它是在城市里面，但是呢跟城市又有一定的这个距离的这种存在感，其实是一个非常好的。因为有的时候如果是说跟城市隔得特别近的话，可能有点喧嚣，家长们会担心有点喧嚣啊，但是隔得太远的话又觉得是不是跟这个 city 的 life 是不是隔得稍微的有这个距离感了，所以他们这个地理位置老师觉得是非常合理和非常适当的。
So St. Anselm students can access all that Washington has to offer in terms of culture, history, and the arts, but they also have a refuge. They have a place set apart from the fast pace of the city. They have a space to listen, to learn, to grow, to become men.
那么正是因为这个优良的或者说优秀的地理位置，所以呢 St. Anselm 学校它可以完全就他们学校的学生可以充分的去利用华盛顿 DC 这个首都的社会资源，那其中就包括像文化领域啊、历史领域啊以及其他的科技领域。
So St. Anselm's offers what we call a classical, rigorous liberal arts education. And that means that students take a foreign language, either Arabic, French, or Spanish, and they take a classical language, Latin, and with the option to take ancient Greek.
Ancient Greek, that's amazing. 好，那刚才老师也说到呢 St. Anselm 这个课程它是一个非常完善的博雅教育哈，尤其是在语言学习方面，除了像我们常规理解意义上可能知晓的有包括西班牙语啊、法语这些通识的小语种以外呢，他们同时也提供一些比较少见的像拉丁语还有这个希腊语的学习。
Each year, students take an English or literature class. They take a science. They take a social science, mathematics, a fine arts course, and a religion course.
OK， 好，在每年或者说每个学期呢，孩子们他们进行这个选课方面也是非常的多样化了。那刚才老师有提到说，每学期的这个课程里面会包含像英语类型的课程，然后科学类型的这个课程，以及这个社会科学，然后个别的话呢，也会有一些数学类和这个宗教类的课程。OK。
In the junior and senior year, we have 26 different advanced placement courses, which we offer. And the majority of our students are named AP scholars, meaning that they have a semester of credits at their respective universities so that they can start as second semester freshmen.
Okay, so, oh, wait, how many AP courses?
26.
26, okay, great. 好的，那么刚才我们在进一步了解学校的学科方面，这个部分哈，在学校的这个课程当中，我们刚才听到老师说他们是提供26门，基本上26门 AP， 也就是说高级课程供，比如说11年级和12年级的学生去进行选修或者说学习。那么除了在初中部的这个我们刚才提到好多语种之外呢，在高中部，他们老师很多老师是使用的大学教科书这样的一个这个教学素材的。那么学生可以继续去学习古典和现代汉外语、人文和社会研究，并且在数学和科学方面呢接受新的挑战。OK。
St. Anselm's also offers a full complement of athletic opportunities and extracurricular options.
OK。那么 St. Anselm 接下来我们聊聊这个体育方面哈。St. Anselm 它在体育方面呢是一共有4个不同的这种体育的领域。其实他们6年级到10年级每一周都有4次这种有组织的体育活动，所有的学生都会参加体育课，这个是作为学校常规课程的一部分。那么就是说11年级和12年级的学生呢，他们每年是必须参加这种大学级别的一项运动，或者参加合适的同等运动的。在所有年级当中呢，学校的学生们都会参加其他的这种校际运动。学校目前在这些领域一共有22支球队，那么就包括像足球啊、越野、摔跤、篮球、游泳、长曲棍球、田径、网球、棒球、高尔夫和击剑等等。OK。
Okay. So there are different options in each season. In fall, students can choose from soccer, cross country, and tennis. In winter, they can choose from basketball, fencing, wrestling, and swimming.
Okay. 好。
And go ahead, and then I'll talk about the spring. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. You can talk about spring first.
Okay, and then the spring season, they can choose from baseball, track and field, golf, and lacrosse.
好的。Great， 那么刚才老师就是分这个不同的赛季或者说这个季节给大家介绍了一下孩子们能选择的这个运动种类。那么比如说像秋季的话呢，有这个可以选择足球啊、网球啊等等。冬季的话呢，孩子们一般参加的是篮球、游泳训练等这些比较多。那么在春季的话呢，更多的孩子会去选择学校会开放这个棒球以及高尔夫等等这种课程的这个教授。OK。
Our sports are competitive, but they're very secondary to academics. Our emphasis is on participation. I'm only 5'9", and yet I played on the basketball team. Mostly I saw the basketball games from the bench, but I appreciated the opportunity to be on the team and practice that discipline and developed my skills.
Okay. 好，那么作为一所小型的学校呢 ，St. Anselm 它可以说是为几乎所有想要参与的这个学生或者说人群提供这个体验体育的这种机会，而且做得非常好。鉴于这种结构呢，学生会在一个学年获得2封甚至3封大学录取通知书，其实这也并不罕见。St. Anselm 的运动员他们在赛场内外都会有非常出色的表现，并且赢得了全大都会、全联盟和全学术的荣誉。他们的许多运动员也继续在大学的这个水平打球，尤其是当他们毕业生进入到像这个哥伦比亚大学呀、纽约大学呀、凯斯西楚大学等等，他们都会参加大学的校队运动。学校每年呢也都会举办华盛顿地区历史最悠久的这个校际篮球赛。刚才 Patrick 也说到他是 basketball 这个篮球队里面曾经篮球队里面的一个成员之一哈。那么在体育方面 St. Anselm 他这个成就也是非常显著的。我在这里可以给大家补充一些信息，比如说他们在这个高尔夫皮瓦克高尔夫球赛，他们分别是获得了17年到19年的冠军。在19年呢，他们的篮球是获得了2个皮瓦 Pivot 的这个冠军，棒球也获得了2个这个 Pivot 的冠军。所以在过去15年当中，他们的黑豹队在各种运动项目中一共是赢得了40多项大学和以及中学级别的联盟赛冠军。当然了，学校参加的也有其他的这些联赛，包括这个长曲棍球华盛顿独立的长曲棍球的联盟啊，中大西洋的这个摔跤联盟啊，和 DC 的这个击剑联盟等等。I just add some information about your awarding or honors in sports team, like so many championship.
Thank you. Our students are not spectators. So often you see young men these days on their screens playing video games, and our emphasis is that they be active and engaged, because we believe for them to become engaged adults, to become leaders in their communities, they need to practice that habit as young men.
好，那么刚才老师也是提到了，就是在体育方面，其实作为一所男校，他们是如何做到这种兼容性，并且说有这种发展性的培养模式的。那我们也知道，因为有这么多的体育的显著的成就，学校的体育设施也是非常棒的，他们包括有这个室内外的网球场啊，这个击球笼和棒球场等等。所以呢，我们接下来看一下学校是否还有其他这方面的介绍。
I don't know if the Harry Potter movies are popular in China.
Very
or the Harry
popular.
Potter book. No, okay. Well, in these movies, they have 4 houses, a house system. And we have a house system at St. Anselm's. We had it before Harry Potter. So that each student, when they come to St. Anselm's, is assigned to a house, Maine, Moore, Austin, and Albany. And these houses compete against each other in intramural sports and activities. Maybe that's too much.
That's fine.
Okay.
Impressive. I really like this, like your housing system. OK， 好，我们刚才呢就老提到这个《哈利波特》这个电影啊，我估计有很多同学和家长之前有看过。那么我们知道，在《哈利波特》电影当中呢，有一个学院分院制的这样的一个环节，就是说他们入学之后是否会分到，比如说这个哪一个学院？那么其实这个传统也是 St. Anselm 学校的经典传统之一，他们在进入这个传统，甚至他们这个时间会比 Harry Potter 电影的这个诞生时间会更早一些。那么它这个传统是用于他们学校的宿舍系统的，比如说在进入 St. Anselm 之后呢，每个学生都会成为以学校历史上的重要人物命名的4个学院之一的成员。宿舍体系呢是于1980年成立的，虽然没有学生可以自己选择加入哪个学院，当然这都是学校分配的，但是呢，如果你是来自于同一个家庭的成员，比如说你是兄弟呀、表亲啊或者父子呀，你们都是可能会被安排在同一个学院去入读和入住的，这是学校的传统之一。那么每年9月份呢，在高年级学生带领下，学校有一个 House Day， 那么有一个 House Draft 的活动当中，他们会宣布宿舍的分配。对的，那每个学院一共是由有一名6年级的成员领导，有一名5年级的助手，由所有形式的学生去进行的组成。那这4所学院的话，每年都会参加学院杯比赛，那这个更像我们 Harry Potter 就是哈利波特电影当中的一些环节了。他们在校内的这个体育运动啊、学术成就以及参加课外和社区服务活动方面呢，表现都赢得不同的积分，这个非常的有趣。Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you. So service is part of that intramural competition, but it's more than that. It's part of the ethos of the school and our Benedictine identity. We believe that it's through service where our students understand their gifts and their obligations as leaders.
好，那么我们接下来讲到学校有关于这个服务与信仰方面的这个培养或者说教育理念哈，因为我们知道 St. Anselm 它是由这个本笃会修士当时是创建的，所以本笃会修士的这种修道院的精神呢，对学校产生了深远的影响。不管你是担任教师、行政人员，还是说顾问，甚至是你在校学生，他们的这种社区生活体现了基督教对人性和道德价值观的理解，因为这些是由天主教会这个教授的嘛，所以指导了所有的这个宗教和文化背景的学生与教职员工们一起进行这种精神成长，他们希望去服务社会，去服务他人，所以学校每年他们都会参加像这种不同的神学呀、伦理学呀，包括这个比较宗教课程，并且参加这种精神的进修。然后低年级和高年级的学生呢，每周也都会参加当地社区的服务项目。OK。
That's why for our juniors and seniors, every Tuesday morning, they do service projects in the Washington, D.C. community. Some of them work with the elderly. Some of them work with elementary schools, others in soup kitchens, but all directed towards making a contribution to the community.
OK， 好，那么老师刚才也举例说，就有关于这个社区服务项目有哪些呢？像每周二的早上，和他们的这个中学和这个中学部的学生们都会去到华盛顿 Washington D.C. 就华盛顿的这个首都去参加不同的社区服务。比如说，有可能他们是在一个小学去做这个志愿者，有可能也是在一个餐厅的厨房去当帮厨，所以这些各种各样的社会服务会让孩子们体验到真实的社会生活，并且去接触不同的社会人群，是一个非常好的这个项目。OK。
The final piece I'd like to add is that being a St. Anselm student and a St. Anselm's graduate means you're part of a lifelong brotherhood, strong alumni. And they feel a strong sense of obligation to the school. Among our 45 teachers and staff members, 10 of them are graduates like myself.
OK， 好，那么因为是这个 St. Anselm 它是有一个这种宗教的连接性，所以老师刚才也非常强调说，在所有的毕业生当中，或者说在整个学校这个治学的教育环境当中呢，这种情感的绑定或者说兄弟之情是非常显著的，尤其是当孩子们不管是他们在校读书的时候，或者说毕业之后，他们之间的这种社会联系也都是非常紧密的。OK。
So most schools have mottos or have words that they live by. We have one where we say St. Anselm's is where bright boys become exceptional young men. And I think those aren't just words on a page. Those are words that I have seen in the lives of the students I have taught, in the lives of the men that I went to school with and that I now have continued friendships with, and hopefully with some of your boys in the future.
OK， 好，老师说呢，每一所学校或者说每个同学、每个学生都会有自己的一个我们说 model 嘛，就是这个领袖或者是你的这种偶像。那么在 St. Anselm 他们是希望 St. Anselm 的所有的男生们呢都能够成为一个具有影响力的未来的这个男性的领导者，或者说男性的这个社会影响家哈。那么在 St. Anselm 老师们也深刻的知道，一所优秀的学校它不仅仅取决于课堂上发生的事情，每一天他们都在努力的帮助他们的学生找到他们这个使命宣言中规定的像这种思想啊、身体和精神的这样一个平衡。Okay.
And Claire, thank you so much for all of that. I really appreciate it. And with that, I'm happy to take questions from the audience.
No problem. Yeah, I think parents are also very excited to ask so many questions in the chat room. I'm going to pick a few of them and translate to you.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So Amy is asking about since St. Anselm is all boys schools, do you have any preferences to focus on the education in STEM or science instead of other like liberal arts or liberal arts?
So we are not a STEM school. We are a liberal arts school with very strong STEM offerings. We believe in a well-rounded, balanced education. But there are very strong sciences. And in fact, a quarter of our graduates go on either to an engineering school or they study engineering at a non-engineering centered university.
好，那么刚才有个家长说，因为是男校嘛，所以学校是不是会偏向于招收理工科呀，或者说更注重于理工科的教育哈？那么老师刚才提到呢，说虽然是男校，但是他们并不是一个专业的理工科的这种偏科院校，因为他们更多的还是比较注重于博雅的这个 liberal arts 教育嘛，博雅教育，所以他们是全面发展的。大家不用觉得说因为是男校，所以是不是更偏理工或者体育？没有这样的一个概念。所有的这个课程，还有学校的在校活动，老师们都是全面的去根据所有孩子的特点，还有他们的发展空间去进行设计的。Okay.
I'd also like to add that in many of the classes, it's not just learning the formulas or the mathematical theory. They put much of that into action. Last year, the juniors, in fact, created a hovercraft. They did an electric car and a solar car. And we believe that it's through this project-based work and through teamwork where they learn the most in terms of math and science.
Great， 好，那么老师刚才也补充了一点说，因为就是说他们的学校的理工科是很强哈，但是呢，希望家长们知道说，在理工科的这种或者科学类课程的教学方面呢，老师们不希望孩子们仅仅就是学一些很固定、很死板的这种像方程式啊、理论的学习，他们更多的是注重于如何将理论用于实践的这样一个教学方式，让孩子们更多的去在实践当中、实践当中去学习知识，去理解那些概念，所以这一点也是希望家长们能够知晓的。Okay, all right. Another question is about the application system or procedure. Can you introduce a little bit more about the application of this year, like deadlines, requirements?
Sure. So our application deadline, we moved it up this year. It's the second week of January. Applications are due. We'll give you a response by the first week in March. The way to apply is if you go to the St. Anselm's website, stanselms.org, and click on admissions. You can create a profile in Ravenna. And once you create that profile on our portal, we'll update you on different deadlines and different processes so that you can be informed of deadlines.
Okay. Actually, I clicked that website by myself.
Yeah.
I saw that the first round deadline is February 3rd.
So we have to update that because we were in conversations with some of our other schools in that we're in a league with. And in order to allow for more time for financial aid to consider people's financial aid applications, we're moving that deadline up to the second week of January. And that's a decision that we've just made recently.
Okay. Wow.
And that should be updated on the website pretty soon. But
sure,
thank you, Claire. You've done a lot of good study on St. Anselm's. I like it. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, that's very important information. I'll pass it to parents. 好，刚才有家长问到说这个有关于申请的流程哈，其实有一个信息呢，大家需要注意一下，因为官网上现在可能还没有更新，官网上标的这个截止日期，第一轮的申请截止日期呢是22年的2月3号，但是老师刚才说呢，他们最近改了这个修改了这个申请截止日期，把它提前到了1月份的第2周，所以这个大家需要注意一下，网站上马上会进行相应的更新，所以大家一定要把这个信息记录下来。Okay, what about the other application requirements like standard test, option test?
Sure. So in the past, we required students to take the test at our school, and we offered our own tests. Because of the pandemic, we've been exploring other options. And this year, we're going to accept the SSAT, which is a standardized test that many other schools use, and a test that students, at least in the United States, can take at home, but also at different test centers. But the SSAT will be an option so that students won't have to take our individualized test.
Okay, so SSAT is required or just optional?
So you have to take either the SSAT or the OLSAT and SCAT. So
gotcha.
If you take the OLSAT and SCAT, you're going to take that at St. Anselm's. The SSAT, as well as the TOEFL, you have to take the SSAT for admission, and that's the same for international students.
Gotcha. Do you have can you tell us what's the minimum requirements for TOEFL score?
So for TOEFL, it's because we're from 6th to 12th grade. There are some differences. We would like for the TOEFL score to be at least above 80 and above.
Okay.
With a preference for scores that are a little bit higher than that. Now, there's some wiggle room for younger students. For instance, if somebody came in the 7th or the 8th grade, we wouldn't stick so rigidly to that. Maybe we take a 77 or 78. But 80 is sort of the minimum requirement.
Okay, gotcha. 好，刚才呢我也帮大家了解了一下有关于申请其他材料方面的这个要求哈。那老师说到标化考试这一块呢，今年学校是你可以从OLSAT 这个考试、SCAT SCOT 考试以及 SSAT 这个考试3门考试当中选一门进行这个分数的提交就好了。那么值得注意的是呢，前面2个OSAT 和 SCOT 考试是学校自主开放的考试，所以说你可能需要在美国当地或者说去到学校里面去进行这个自主招生考试的。但是如果是咱们国际学生或其他国家的学生呢，你们是可以选择考那个 SSAT 考试进行提交。那么今年的话是这3个考试你必须选一个，有一个分数，并不是像去年那种不交考试分数没有标化就可以申请哈，这有一个稍微的小改变。那么有关于托福分数，就是 TOEFL score 的话呢，我也刚才帮大家问了一下，咱们国际学生最低的托福分数要求是80分以上，所以这个大家需要稍微注意一下。如果是说已经达到了这个标准，当然老师也提到你越高越好，但如果没有的话呢，80分是最低的分数线。OK.
Another important part of the application is a Zoom interview with either myself or one of my colleagues and a teacher for about a half an hour. And I think that is even more critical, I think, for an international student, just so that we get a sense for the student's personality, their openness, their curiosity, and also their ability in conversational English.
Yeah, great. 好，那么刚才老师呢也提到了在申请环节当中这个面试的部分哈，学校面试今年呢也会采取这个 Zoom interview， 就是 Zoom 的这个面试，那么会由Patrick老师自己或者说他的同事给大家进行这个面试的问答工作，整个面试的时间长度呢会持续在30分钟左右，所以大家需要提前做好相应的这个充分的准备。Okay, one more question from the parents. So what about the campus visit policy this year?
So if you have passed a COVID test, or if over 12 now in the United States, the vaccination is approved, or it's over 16, but it will be over 12 soon. So if a student is vaccinated, they are allowed to come on a campus visit. We even have shadow days. It's not a full day, but it's a morning of classes where you can come and visit.
Do you have any virtual tour provided?
We have a pretty bare bones virtual tour on the website, but it doesn't have a lot of the details that some of the other schools have. The virtual tour is fine. It'll give you a sense of the campus. But yeah, it's not a substitute, unfortunately, for for being there.
Okay, great. 好，刚才有家长也问到有关于这个访校的今年访校的政策哈。那么老师说到呢，他们在线上访校今年开放的这个名额会比较少一些，但是如果说大家想进行线下访校，今年他们是比较灵活的，只要你年龄超过了12岁，并且呢你的这个核酸检测是呈阴性就说没有这个新冠感染的这个现象的话，你们都可以提前进行这个学校的线下访校的预约。大家可以提前在官网或者说联系老师，学校老师做好这个预约的工作，当然也可以联系我们的顾问团队，我们的 K12 的团队老师也会帮你们进行这个预约和安排。Okay, thank you very much for sharing. I think we have already covered all the questions in the chat room. And I think it was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much, Claire. And thank you, everybody who's participated today. I know I have my own son. He's only now in 4th grade, but I know what a commitment it is to consider sending a young man overseas for his education. And it's something that we take incredibly seriously. And we appreciate your interest and your dedication to your sons.
Yeah, every parent in this world are the same. You're facing the same problems. All right. Thanks again for participating, Patrick. And we'll
thank you so much, Claire.
Yeah, if we have any more questions or inquiries from the families, I will help collect those questions and email them to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Claire, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too. Bye.